Hey guys, so this is batch number 3 of the Weapon Awakenings. I really wanted to make this a lot sooner, but time passed and passed, and I just really wanted to get good footage, and I haven't been, it's been super difficult to get footage for these weapons, sorry guys. But no matter if we have them or not, I'm gonna make this video now for you guys. So first one we're gonna do is Isadora. You have to take into account that Isadora, her awakening for the +3 requires to actually lose life when she takes damage to get this 3 mana here. So usually the best weapon for Isadora in general on defense is Alia's Staff, but Alia's Staff gives her shields, and that shield is going to prevent her from getting this extra mana. So this is where her weapon comes in. Per se, this normal attack thing is not really useful on defense. On the attack, it's a little bit more useful, but on defense, it's not really useful. However, with these new abilities, we can actually get a lot more from Isadora, especially on the mana side. And speaking of that, Awakening +1, Isadora gains a new passive, restores 10% mana on self for every 10 Naya Stones match. So this is super relevant for her. Remember that she's a slow hero, and being able to get that 10% sweet mana, and you're probably going to put her on defense, and you're going to put her on the front so she gets hit with stones, she's going to get a lot more mana than before. And when you play Isadora, the only thing that matters are two things: that she survives and that she goes off as much as possible. So going off as much as possible, +1 takes care of that for sure. And she's still gonna get shields when she gets full mana anyway with one of her awakenings. So yeah, that's really useful for her for sure. This is a very good awakening for her. And Awakening +2, Isadora's faction buff is enhanced. After using skills, the damage dealt by Gale's allies increases by 25% for 5 turns. This is an incredibly niche awakening. So yeah, unless you actually have an actual team with Gale heroes, which is not terrible. In the beginning of the game, Gale heroes with green was the trademark to actually play with this. So if you're using like a hero like Fabula 25 damage additional, that would be pretty crazy. Especially with a crit weapon. Or maybe even Cathbad. He could do more damage with his own weapon, doing with the stones, and this additional 25. So that's really nice. But in general, this is not a good awakening I would recommend to actually spend, the good cash on it to actually get this awakening. I wouldn't recommend it unless you really want to have a more powerful Gale team. Awakening +3, Isadora gains a new passive. When acting as a defender, she reduces the damage all her allies receive from stronger elements by 25%, for 50% for all green allies. This effect cannot be dispelled. So this awakening is super powerful. It's incredibly underestimated. Because the thing is that you want Isadora to survive as much as possible. So red teams are definitely going to want to jump her. And the very first target you're going to go after is her. So having this up, this is going to be amazing for her, because that's going to prevent 50% damage from her herself, and 25% from all the other, anti, pretty much the opposite color from the other colors that you're using on defense. So this is definitely going to be useful and relevant in your team, especially if you have in your team like Alpha with her +3. that stacks. So that's gonna give you even more protection there in that situation. So this will give you like if you make a team that's gonna attract red heroes, this is an incredible awakening to actually have for sure. And remember that once you awaken this weapon to +3, she's going to get all these buffs, especially this one for defense. So that's going to be a good upside to actually using Alia's weapon at just a level, at just 0 awakening here. So having this at +3 completely replaces Alia weapon on defense for sure. So very powerful stuff, guys. I've seen this in action, and yeah, it's nothing to scoff at. Alia becomes a lot faster when she has this thing. So yeah, very powerful stuff, guys. If you would really want to awaken this weapon, I recommend to awaken the +1 for sure. The other ones, if you really want the +3, go for this, but Don't do it for the +2, please. Just focus on the +1 or the +3 here. So the next one we're gonna talk about is one of the favorite heroes of free-to-play players, Guardor. Guardor has been like a sleeper, like one of the most underestimated heroes in the entire game, but he has incredible uses. He has very powerful abilities, and will help your team actually survive a lot more. However, his weapon has been one of the most boring weapons ever. Normal attack damage, I mean, come on, he doesn't. Yeah. Well, what? Anyhow. His Awakenings. King Guardor gains new passive. Decreases the mana required to cast skills by 10 after casting a skill up to 50. So pretty much this is the +5 Awakening of Cathbad, and they stuck it on the +1 for him. So this is not terrible, and if he goes off over and over again, he's going to be a lot faster. Especially on defense. So this is not a terrible Awakening to have in a situation. Awakening +2, when acting as defender, King Guardor's skill is enhanced. King Guardor's skills damage and follow-up attack damage increases by 25%. I have seen him in defense, so with this awakening like this, but it doesn't do as much damage as it's promoting. He does. I do notice that he goes off over and over and over, so this is pretty cool. The +2, not so much, but it's interesting to think maybe buffing him. Nah, I think +2 is not for you guys for sure. So +3, when acting as defender, really want defender, huh? King Guardor's skill is enhanced. Falco Mark reduces the target accuracy by an additional 30%. So this is terribly underestimated in that situation. So imagine a team that is an Idra team, and you also add in Malfort with his weapon at +3. This means that the actual target that he's hitting over and over and over again is going to have so much problems with hitting in general. And in an Idra team, you're pretty much, you won't be able to hit anything. Having that same target over and over, getting that 30%, and then with the dodge that the other teams already have, and also Percy coming in and adding an additional accuracy problems there. So yeah, that could be very destructive in the right team. I can definitely see him being used on defense a lot more if there is a that is a huge if. There is a brave soul that it would actually awaken this weapon up until +3, which sadly I haven't really seen anybody awakening this weapon at +3. But I can see him on an Idra team with Malfort and absolutely annihilating the enemy with this. This is crazy. And with this +1 making the mana go down, yeah, I can see him going off a lot. And Elmas will definitely help out on clearing the way for him to actually do all these things. So yeah, I like his weapon, but yeah, and since there's so very few people that have been using this, I can't really recommend it just yet. But I can see the potential. I see the power behind his abilities for sure. That's very interesting to see for sure. Alright guys, so the next one we're going to talk about is Somal. Somal is one of my favorite heroes in general in the game. However, the sad thing about him is when you actually use him, he tends to die pretty quickly. Sadly, in general, if you're using him on defense, if you're using him on the attack, it's pretty much the same story in this situation. However, he's still a really cool hero to use. The main reason why you use Somal is pretty much to kill Palmyra, but Palmyra has become a lot less of a problem than before, so yeah. But still, a lot of people have been praising him so much in this situation, so let's talk about his Awakens real quick. Awaken +1, Somal's skills is enhanced, increases attack by 25% for 3 turns when casting a skill, up to 50%. So this +1 is straight up adding another weapon over the weapon that he already has in this situation. So it's pretty much adding attack straight off the bat and doing extra damage. So that's not bad. If you pair him with a hero like Searcher +5, that gives him crit chance and crit damage on top of that, and you get this extra attack. That could actually do a nice amount of damage in that situation. So that would be really interesting to see for sure. So Awakening +2, Somal gains a new passive. When taking lethal damage, becomes immune to death and increases mana gain and damage dealt by 100% and 100% respectively for 3 turns. Takes effect once per battle. So yeah, this sounds freaking amazing. This is pretty much the awakening of a +5 of many heroes in this situation. They die, they go berserk, and they do a bunch of stuff. So this is really cool, guys. However, I've never been a fan of abilities per se that for it to be good, you have to die for that situation. So if you actually get this to +2, there is a case for using Somal on defense in this situation. But the problem is that remember that when you actually use Somal, you want to have his ability hit the target twice. So most probably you'll want to actually use Somal on a team on defense that actually again uses Malfort, because you have to hit the same target twice there in that situation. So this is not a bad awakening at all. Remember when I said that Somal was really squishy and tends to die a lot? Maybe this will make it worth him dying in the situation. As again, I'm not really a fan of it, but yeah, that could be definitely a possibility. And this mana gain is gonna give him a lot more abilities for him to shoot twice. The main problem Somal is him shooting twice the same target. So yeah, if this is what's gonna take, well, you gotta do that then. And Awakening +3, as I said, Somal's skill is enhanced. If the target has a violence mark when Somal uses a skill, he inflicts violence mark on all enemies. So if you have this guy at +3, I'm sorry, +5 in his awakenings, and you have this awakening +3, and you're fighting against Alia with her weapon, yeah, this will change the tide of the battle 100%, as long as you're able to shoot twice. And this is a huge problem with this, especially when there's so many Belnos around. If you shoot once and you're sleepy, you wasted it. You wasted it straight off the bat in this situation. So shooting twice for Somal has been a problem with him ever since he was released, and that's the main reason why he's been so weak in general. However, if he actually tends to die and he goes off many times, that's going to be very useful and going to be very powerful in countering many heroes. Maybe Isadora, maybe, obviously, as I already said, Alia there. Valerie, that's definitely an amazing counter there. Everybody losing the same amount of life that she's gaining there. Yeah, that's really powerful stuff. However, as I said, since there's so many Belnos around, making him sleep is going to make him not be able to get that mana. If he dies, he's going to lose this mana gain. So that's going to be a huge problem if you're facing Belnos and you're using this guy. Hopefully you get woken up when the enemies start hitting you and things like that. But yeah, this is a very risky. Instead of actually adding an abilities here to raise his critical chance, to make this crit damage even devastating when he's actually used, but instead they decided to do this in this situation. So yeah, if you actually have a way to make him shoot twice without problems with Belnos and all that, this will be a very, very cool way to actually use him in this situation. And again, with Malfort on defense. So that's going to be pretty cool if you actually pull it off. So finally, last but not least, is Zeus. Zeus, yeah, Zeus has been needing an awakening for a weapon for a very long time in this situation. But let's talk about it, guys. Remember that this guy gets 50% crit with his own weapon. So keeping that in mind, awakening +1. Zeus' skill is enhanced. When casting a skill, increases skill damage for all yellow allies by 20%. Not bad, but not groundbreaking. 20% extra skill damage is not bad. That's straight off awakening there, but yeah, that's not groundbreaking in that situation. Awakening +2. Zeus' skill has been enhanced. Skill damage increased by 50%. and damage dealt by lightning stone increases by 50%. So this one, I'm digging a lot more in this situation, because damage dealt by lightning stones increased by 50%. If you have this guy at +5, and if you have bought the the pass there to be able to get on the events to get his awakening soul stone there, and you got him to +5, this is going to make his lightning even a lot more stronger. At +5, he does a very nice amount of damage with his stone lightning. But with this is going to help him get even more in that situation. So this, don't underestimate this. This is pretty powerful for him. Even without this, I've seen his lightning stones do a lot of work, guys. Because remember that yellow is going to be powered with non, and also with other heroes and things like that. So yeah, don't sleep on this guy. This is pretty powerful awakening for him. And the +3, Zeus' skill is enhanced, increases mana gain by 50% for 3 turns when casting a skill. In a world without Belnos, this would have been, everybody would have wanted this awakening like crazy, because remember that when you're actually playing with Zeus, you want him to go off as much as possible, creating as much stones as much as possible, and being able to create that extra mana, extra damage with the stones there in that situation. However, in a world with Belnos, this is gonna be a problem. If by any chance, if you did not get Apollo like I so recommended you to get, yeah, if you got this weapon at +3 and you don't have Apollo on your team and you're fighting Belnos, yeah, that is game over, guys. This awakening becomes 0 in that situation, unless you get awakened, pretty much woken up by a damage of a skill. But yeah, when you're playing yellow, you really don't want that. But if you do have Apollo, if you have a way to actually deal with the Belnos sleep, this will make him go off so many times it's not even funny. So yeah, if you really want an actual awakening to make him go off over and over and over again, this is the one, guys. Very, very cool. Remember that many weapons even makes you sacrifice 25% of your own life to get this buff right off the bat, and you're not losing life. So this is a pretty powerful awakening for him, for sure. So now remember, guys, that we also have a few other weapons which are for 4 stars, and they're nothing to scoff at, really. First of all, for Sammy, many people have been well, Sammy is one of the most underestimated heroes in the game, period. But now that he has this awakening weapon, guys, don't sleep on this guy. I've seen some crazy stuff with Sammy on defense. Really, really crazy stuff, guys. So let's talk about it. Awakening +1. Sammy gains a new passive. When taking lethal damage as defender, he becomes immune to death for this turn and increases his damage dealt by 50% for 3 turns. Takes effect once per turn. So he becomes immortal, guys. This is straight up +5 5-star awakening powers here. So now he's immortal. So what else can Sammy do now? Awakening +2. Sammy's skill is enhanced. Increases skill damage and counterattack damage by 33%. Okay, I'm going to talk about this a little later, because the thing is that I definitely have to read the next one for sure. Awakening +3. Sammy's passive has been enhanced. Once Weapon Awakening +1 effect is triggered, it can be re-triggered when there's other allies on the battlefield, and will continue to be re-triggered until there's no other allies left. This is insane, guys. This +3 is absolutely disgusting. Oh my god. So that pretty much means that you can put him there on defense, defending your most weakest heroes on the back of him, and until those ones on the back are dead, he's not gonna die. Yeah, this is this is incredibly powerful, guys. For a 4-star, yeah, this is absolutely amazing, guys. Absolutely amazing. And coming back to this ability for the +2, his skill damage is enhanced. Counterattack damage by 33%, and so the thing is that now you actually have heroes to actually combo with him. So now, for example, if you combo with Alpha with her +5 awakening, she dies. and he gets skill damage at 100% with his critical with his counter attack at 33. I've seen this guy actually murdering full teams with his just with his skill, man. So yeah, that is and even in one fight that I actually had, I was like cruising like in ships and things like that, and I attacked, and then that happened. I almost died. If I didn't have my team that was strong, I would have died right there. That is a really big surprise, guys, for sure. So now that we actually have Artemis, this Artemis does affect him in this situation. He's a counterattack hero. So in other words, he's going to get 33% plus the actual damage dealt from this if he actually dies per se in this situation, plus the 50% additional from Artemis that's actually counterattack. So yeah, there's so many possibilities for this guy to actually be used, and he's a freaking 4-star. That's the main thing that I want to get at. There's so much interaction, so many crazy stuff that yeah, I definitely want to keep trying him out, and another reason why I really want Artemis. Yeah, for sure. So if you really want to have fun, because this is a fun Awakenings for sure, definitely get Sammy. He will make you laugh for sure, especially when you see those recordings on defense for sure for them. And finally, the last Awakening weapon that we're going to talk about is Cassandra's. Cassandra is another hero that is, but this hero is absolutely amazing hero, and people have been ignoring her like for way too long. I've seen her without her weapon doing an amazing work, taking down giant whales on defense teams that are made for her. So yeah, don't sleep on Cassandra, guys. She's incredibly powerful. Do not sleep on her, guys. Super, very fast hero, and yeah, she can do a lot of stuff in this game, as I already explained before. Anyhow, Awakening +1. Cassandra gains new passive. Every 3 turns, she gains a shield equal to 25% of her max HP. This effect cannot be stacked. So this is pretty cool, because usually when you play Cassandra on defense, people will want to kill her first. So this is going to help her out for sure, survive a little bit more there. Awakening +2. Cassandra's skills are enhanced. Cassandra's skills only apply 50% overload to herself. So she's very fast. Now she's like 50% over. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is self-explanatory. Making her even faster than she already is, that is pretty crazy, guys, for sure. Yeah. And +3, Cassandra's passive and enhanced. When the shield provided by her passive breaks, she applies 30 overload to the target. This is incredibly underestimated. If you've used Midas with his weapon awakened, he gets exactly this, 30 overload. So giving this awakening to a hero that everybody's going to want to kill and make them even slower, that's going to accumulate, especially if you add in other heroes like Midas, like Thao, like other heroes. Felia on defense, she's pretty scary sometimes as well. She also gives 30 overload to the entire team, and adding the additional overload. So I've seen the Red Streak team in action on defense, and it is incredibly annoying to get so many overload. If only my enemy would have gotten actually more damage, I would have been dead in that situation. And adding this hero there to actually add additional overload and giving this, remember that Cassandra is so important on the Red Streak team to actually clear all the overload. So yeah, this is an incredible upgrade for her, and giving her this weapon like this is very cool to have, guys. Very, very cool. So another piece for the Red Streaks is here. Hopefully more brave souls out there actually try this out. So this is usually a really cool combination there. So for recommendations, my recommendations have not changed, guys. The number 1 weapon you have to awaken is Alia. There is no questions asked. In this game, there are 2 types of players. The players that do not have this weapon awakened, and the players that have this weapon awakened. This weapon is, yeah, this will change you. Even if you have your Alia not fully awakened, if you don't have this one awakened, yeah, you're gonna fall behind in general on defense in arena, in war, everything, anything you want. At least +2 this weapon, at least. If you actually get the +3 for this weapon, you'll be able to counter elements, and that is super powerful to do, guys. Super powerful. But at least +2 for sure, and to make Alia a powerhouse on defense. For this is my highest recommendation, no questions asked. Then after that is Malfour. Malfour definitely needs to get this weapon awakening, but the problem is that for him to have full power, you have to awaken him at +3. You are able to awaken him at +1, +2 to give shields to the entire team, which is really nice and actually counters Alden for sure when Alden actually attacks. However, getting this +3 weapon at +3 makes the team around Malfour on defense. So after you get Alia's weapon, definitely get Malfour's weapon for sure. Highly recommend to get this, no questions asked, guys, in this situation. So yeah, guys, pretty much the same recommendation as the last video on which weapons to awaken. Phalia's weapon is very good to awaken, at least as +1. This +1 for Phalia pretty much fixes her in that situation, because it gives her the crit chance and the crit damage that she actually needs to actually make all this worth in this situation. Karma's weapon is an amazing weapon to actually awaken. This +1 is amazing. If you're able to +1 this weapon, go for it. Shattering weapons in that situation is amazing in this game. Amazing, guys. So highly recommended to get this +1. However, I've seen this weapon at +3 demolishing. Using Karma on the attack, demolishing the defenses with this. Not being able to create shields, yeah. That is, yeah, not a lot of heroes will be able to get off of that one for sure. So yeah, those are my main recommendation for awakening. Oh, by the way, if you have not yet, where are you? If you have not yet already, if you play this game and you have not awakened this weapon, you got to check yourself. You got to check yourself. Because if you play this game, I don't care if you're a whale, I don't care if you're free to play, cheap to play, whatever. You have to awaken this weapon. This weapon in this game have so many uses, so much power behind it that even whales are using it in this situation. Yellow teams have a new life with this guy around. So yeah, definitely awaken this guy. No excuses, guys. You can awaken this for free in this game. So there is no excuse. Get Roland's weapon at +3. No questions asked, guys, for sure. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.